You do not have to spend hundreds of dollars to get a flawless beat. There are plenty of products that are affordable and available at the drugstore that can give you a flawless makeup look. And here's how. Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jasmine and today I'm going to be showing you how to get a flawless base on a budget. If you're a baddie on a budget and you want to know how to get a flawless makeup look, you certainly can. You do not have to spend a ton of money to get a flawless beat. I don't know who told you that, but remove that from your mind. There are so many high quality products that are available in the affordable section at Ulta, at Walmart, at CVS, at the drugstore, at Dollar Tree, at Five Below, that can give you a flawless beat like this one. Also, you guys see the new hair? You guys see it? I wanted to kind of change it up for the summer. We added some color. I really like it. Let me know what you guys think. If you want to see how I achieved this makeup look on a budget, keep on watching. Okay, so primer is not necessary for everyone. I don't think everyone needs primer if and only if you do proper skin prep. So that is just your skincare beforehand. You want to make sure your skin is extremely hydrated before you apply any makeup. Personally, I find that primer makes a difference in my makeup, so I'm going to use some. I have two to show you. First is the MILANI Conceal and Perfect Blur Out Smoothing Primer. If you tend to get oily and or if you have kind of some areas of texture on your skin, like, do you see how that just blurred my forehead? Using a blurring primer is going to help with that, and it's just going to make your skin appear more smooth. While I'm applying this, another primer that I really like is the E.L.F. Power Grip. This one has niacinamide in it, the one that is pink. They also have a green one, which is like their OG one, but I really like this pink one because of the niacinamide. Niacinamide is going to help with controlling oils, and also it's just skincare in general, and skincare in your primer is really going to help because it's kind of like a form of skin prep before you even apply any makeup. You can definitely use both at the same time if you like. I'm going to use my gripping primer literally on all the other areas of my face that I didn't do my blurring primer. And just to show you how sticky this is, yeah, yeah, your makeup is going to stick to this all day. Now, if you have a deeper skin tone, it's likely you might have some hyperpigmentation, and what you'll need for that is an orange color corrector. If you're my skin tone or deeper, you want to use an orange like this, but if you have a little bit lighter of a skin tone than I do, you may want to lean towards something that is a little bit more peach. A little bit goes a long way with color corrector. You don't want to use too much. Really, it should blend into your skin like this and just correct any hyperpigmentation that you may have. If you feel like you don't have enough, you can definitely add a little bit more. Lately, I've been adding my color corrector to the back of my hand as well. I literally forgot when I applied the first amount, but applying it to the back of your hand allows you to really control how much product you apply at once so that you don't turn your whole face orange. I also really like to use this above my lip because, again, as a black woman, I feel like some of us tend to have a darker upper lip, and this definitely can peek through your makeup. I don't mind applying a little extra color corrector here because I hate how that looks. I hate it. Next, for foundation, I decided to go for this MILANI Conceal and Perfect Blur Out Skin Tint Stick. I don't often see people recommending foundation sticks for beginners, but I really feel like these are really good products to use if you're a beginner. Sometimes liquid foundation can be hard to match because of things like oxidation and stuff like that, but I feel like a stick is really nice because it is easier to control. And you see how that just melted into my skin? It looks like I don't even have any foundation on because the match is so good. I think you can also control the coverage and just how much product you use a little bit easier with a stick. And you're going to want to use a dense foundation brush to blend that in. And I just like the skin-like finish that it gives to the skin. And by the way, I'm using the shade 23 Rich. I think I could have gone even a little bit lighter in shade if I wanted to, but our concealer is going to really brighten up the face. Make sure you're always blending down your neck as well because you do not want a line of demarcation between your face and your neck. For cream bronzer, I have been obsessed with the Essence Baby Got Back bronzing stick ever since I got it. I have mine in the shade 60 Crush on Caviar, and this is a really nice bronzer shade for deep skin. I like to apply it kind of in the hollows of my cheekbones, and I also like a really bronzed forehead, so I go in a little bit heavy on my forehead and then also on my chin. I think that applying your bronzer before you apply your concealer and your blush really helps to kind of frame your face. I feel like your bronzer really helps to do that, so that you kind of have that warmth to your skin before you go in with your blush and highlighting with concealer. And I also think that it just makes it easier to blend things in. So your concealer is going to blend into your blush and your bronzer a little bit easier. I think working in this order, it's just easier overall, but you know, to each their own. You can definitely start with concealer first if you like. I feel like a lot of us start that way, but I'm always an advocate for bronzer and blush before concealer. You see the warmth that just added to my face? So beautiful, stunning. For cream blush, I highly recommend these Morphe Cheek Thrills palettes. This has a powder blush, a cream blush, and a highlighter, kind of a glowy blush. I would say this is more of a glowy blush than a highlighter, but a highlighter in it as well, and I love a good 3-in-1. This one is in the shade Wine and Dine, and I think this color is absolutely stunning on deep skin tones. So I'm gonna go in with the cream shade first. I'm gonna load it up onto my blush brush and apply to the skin. What I like about this product is that it's pretty buildable. It looks very pigmented on my first application because I loaded up a lot of it onto my brush, but if you want more of a subtle blush look, you can use a lot less product if you please. They also have a really nice red shade of this palette that I think is also stunning on dark skin. Berries, reds, and oranges are colors that I typically go for dark skin that I recommend, but you can definitely go in with pinks if you want, but sometimes those can be a little bit harder to find, especially in the drugstore. But I will say my favorite shade of blush to wear is red, because I just think it's so flattering on my skin tone, my undertone, and it's just beautiful. But sometimes I need to remember this kind of berry shade is really cute as well. For concealer, I've really been liking these Morphe Wake Up Artist concealers. Today I'm going to be using it in the shade Chestnut. For my beginner babes, I am only going to be using one shade of concealer today because I don't want to overcomplicate things for you. Typically I like to use two, but you can definitely get away with using one. And with your concealer, you want to pick a shade that is 2 to 3 shades lighter than your skin tone. I would say this is definitely more around the 3 mark, maybe even a little lighter, because I really like a highlighted look. This is how I kind of place my concealer to highlight my face. We don't have to conceal as much because of how we use color corrector and we use foundation as well. So this type of placement is really going to emphasize the highlighted areas of your face, or the areas that hit the light first. I'm going to apply my MILANI Make It Last setting spray. I really like to use setting spray in between layers of makeup. I feel that this really helps your makeup to last longer when you apply setting spray in between steps. I am going to let this dry down, and then once the setting spray is dry, I'm going to blend out my concealer. Okay, now I'm going to blend out my concealer. I like to start with the larger areas of my face first, and then do my under eye last so that it has the longest amount of time to sit. But you see how this concealer just blends into the skin? My skin looks so good, y'all. I feel like my skin is eating today. Definitely want to be careful when blending out the nose because we don't want to bring this concealer out too far. I like to even get my foundation brush and just kind of blend along the sides like this, and even over top if necessary. Now we are going to blend out the under eye. I think this concealer has a beautiful medium coverage. You see as I'm blending it over the blush, it's kind of just blending into it. It's not covering it up. I like usually a medium to full coverage concealer because it's actually going to give you that coverage. And I honestly feel like coverage in concealer is even more important than foundation because this is what we're using to conceal and highlight the skin. I like to also go back in with my brushes and kind of just blend along the edges of everything to make sure everything is nice and well blended. I'm even going to go back in with my foundation brush and just tap over everything because we want our base to be as flawless as possible before even using powder so that we're not setting anything into place that we don't want. Now we are going to go in with pressed powder and then loose to set our makeup into place. If you watch me, you know I absolutely love and adore the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless powder. I'm using the shade 330 first. I'm going to take this on a tapered powder brush, and before setting my concealer into place, I'm going to make sure there are no creases that we are going to set, and then I'm going to go in with my brush and set this into place. Same thing on the other side, blend out any creases that may have formed, and then we're going to go in with our powder brush to set that into place. You can also use a powder puff to do this. It really doesn't matter. I kind of switch between the two. I'm also using this shade in the areas that we added concealer, so above the lip, in the center of the forehead, and on the chin. Another powder foundation that I really like is the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear. I'm going to use this one in the shade 375. This is the same shade as my skin tone. With a large powder brush, I'm just going to use this to set the rest of my face. I don't think any area of your face should be left unset because this is going to cause it to move throughout the day. And also, if you have oily skin, you do not want to leave any area of your face without powder. You don't have to use a lot. If you like a glowier look, you can literally just use the lightest amount of powder possible. And if you like more of a matte look, you can definitely go in with more powder. There are some areas of my face that I like to be matte more than others. Like I like a pretty matte forehead, at least the center of it, and matte eyebrows. But I really have been liking this kind of, I don't want to say dewy or glowy, but skin-like finish. Now we're going to go in with loose powder. I've really been liking the Morphe Bake and Set. This is in the shade Banana. I also really like their new Brightening Peach shade. It is very hard for me to find a drugstore or an affordable powder that I genuinely love as much as my high-end powders. So using it on my powder puff, I'm going to use this to bake my face. And I'm getting as close to my eye crease as possible. Oftentimes I kind of would bring my loose powder all the way out to here, but I'm really trying to focus it on my under eyes today. I don't want to use too much loose setting powder because again, I really want to maintain this skin-like finish. I'm also going to use some powder in the center of my forehead because like I said, I get very oily here very easily. This is like one of the first areas of my face to get oily. And also on my nose, I'm going to bake the center of my nose. I'm also going to use some powder on the chin. As you can see, I'm kind of going in with a lighter amount on the other areas of my face and then kind of blending it in. After letting my powder sit on my face for a couple minutes, usually like 2 to 3 minutes, I like to take my powder puff and kind of press it into the skin first so that we're getting all the use out of the powder as we can to set the face and also brighten. And then I like to use my powder brush that I use for my pressed powder to further blend this into the skin, and you can also kind of sweep this away. To kind of melt all of my powders into the skin, I'm going to take my Morphe Make It Last again, and I'm going to use this to set my face so that all of our powders kind of melt into the face so that everything looks very cohesive and skin-like. Again, don't be afraid to be generous. Next, we're going to go in with some powder bronzer. This is the L'Oreal Infallible bronzer in the shade 550 Deep Dark. This is a new bronzer to my collection and I really like it. Another hard thing to find in the drugstore for deep skin is a good bronzer. I feel like most of the bronzers that I love that are powders are high-end because a lot of drugstore brands just do not make a shade for us. I like to look really bronze, so I'm going in pretty heavy with this. I just love the chocolatey warmth that this adds to my skin. I think it is stunning. I did also take the excess powder on my powder puff and I'm going underneath my bronzer to kind of sharpen it up. I think I'm gonna have to go in with a little bit of extra powder. I'm really just gonna get some out of the cap. I don't like to use too much because I'm not trying to necessarily brighten this area too much. I just want my cheekbones to look a little bit more precise. And then I'm gonna use my powder foundation brush to kind of blend this out. I'm also going to use my bronzer to contour my nose. It kind of looks as if my nose is already contoured because of how we reverse contoured it with our powder. So I'm just going to reinforce that with my bronzer. I always like to blend my nose contour up into my brow bone because that's kind of where my natural bone is and it's very prominent on my face. I like doing this because I don't have much of a nose bridge and this kind of helps to bring it out. For powder blush, I'm going back into my Morphe Cheek Thrills palette in the shade Wine and Dine, and I'm just going to use this shade at the bottom, which is the powder blush, the matte powder blush, and I'm going to use this on the higher points of my cheekbones, kind of blending it towards my under eye. And you see how pretty that is? That is such a cute, very toned blush. It also has some nice pigment, so a little bit goes a long way. Make sure you're also blending it into your bronzer. You don't want to drag it down, but you do want to make sure these are blending together cohesively. For my highlight, I'm going to go into this middle shade here. I feel like this is more of a glowy blush, but it does match the color of the blush that's already in the palette, and it gives you a nice subtle glow to the cheek. Really pretty. Now this is about how to get kind of the perfect makeup base, but just for a good affordable mascara, Essence Lash Princess, You Will Always Be Famous. I like the one with the pink lettering on it. I think it is amazing. I just put on some lashes. Y'all, I'm fresh out of my affordable lashes, so I'm so sorry that I don't have any affordable lashes to show you. But these are Lily lashes in Miami Everyday. I'll still link them below for you if you're interested, but next time I'll do better to get and make sure I have a pair of affordable lashes. Now let's get into our lip combo. For my liner, I'm going to use the Maybelline Lifter Liner. This is a stunning dark chocolate brown. You do have to blend it quickly because this liner really sets into place. It's so long lasting. For my gloss, I'm going to take the NYX Butter Gloss. This is a classic, and this is in the shade Madeline, I'm pretty sure. The label's not on it. Oh, yes it is. They used to put the labels on the bottom, now it's on the side. This is in the shade Madeline. If you know me, you know I love the CoverGirl Yummy Gloss as well. This one is in the shade My Straw Booty, and I'm just going to top this lip combo with it. Like, you see how much juicier that looks? So pretty. So pretty. I always say use both a setting and a fixing spray. We're going to go in with MILANI Make It Last again, and we are also going to go in with L'Oreal Infallible. We're going to go in with the MILANI first. And then we're going to go in with the L'Oreal 3-Second Setting Mist right on top. This is a really good dupe for the One Size, my favorite. And here is our final makeup look. Let me know what you guys think. I really like how this look came out, and this goes to show that you don't need to spend an arm and a leg on products. Please excuse if you hear like a lawnmower outside. At least they finished just in time for me to wrap up the video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope that this helped you to find some more affordable and drugstore products, especially if you have a deeper skin tone, because I know it can be hard out here for us. Let me know what you guys think of the look. Like I said, make sure to also give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you also turn on the post notification bell so that you don't miss another video from me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!